Chevy pickup.
I know it looks rough, but this thing has so much history. This is my brother's truck, manual. You know, we lost him a few years back, and this was his project. You think I'm crazy, look at his stuff.
So you're saying that the kind of craziness runs in the family. You're not the only one with the affliction. This thing is weird.
My brother started the craziness, and we're gonna finish the craziness.
I guess Manny was going for some kind of like ultimate tailgate party vehicle, and Victor wants to run with that concept, but I don't know what that means.
Don't look at it the way it is now. Look at it as us changing it into the ultimate party vehicle.
Party barge.
Yes.
Now we're getting somewhere.
You know what? And I had visioned as this thing in my dream.
Nightmare?
No, it was no nightmare. It was like a vision. I mean, we need to get this out of here, and let me get some lines on here, and I'll show you what I was visioning.
I can see this project is really special to Victor. You know, it's a piece of his heart involved with it. I'm gung-ho. I'm going along for the ride 100%. I'm really excited to see what his transformation entails. I guess we're building this thing. It's been one day since I saw the project last. Now we got it in the shop. If you know Victor like I know Victor, the whole plan could have changed. I gotta say, I'm not as optimistic as I was yesterday. You're talking about diamond in the rough, and that's a hard sell. I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Do you need glasses or something?
I may,
Look at that thing.
Right. That's the problem. As a fabricator, I'm looking at what happened, so let's look through that and see where it's going. Victor's got his concepts, and I've got my wish list. Of paramount and primary importance is to get this roof off the vehicle, whatever it takes.
All right, ready?
Just like that, my mind is free of that ugly roof. Whoa, look at the structure in there, man.
I wonder why they would have built double walls, though.
It looks like somebody was changing their mind.
I think they were teaching somebody what the heck to do there.
All right, I gotta confess. It was me that did this many years ago.
So you did this. When did you guys
I didn't do the welding. Look how professional the structure is. I had that helper, Trent.
Yeah.
I was teaching Trent fabrication, and it was actually his pet project.
Well, I had a little input too, but I didn't see what you guys did. I just was involved with talking about it.
Yeah.
So.
And he would come to me and he'd just say, I want a few minor enhancements, and things changed and changed and changed. There are things like skeletons in the closet. You know, everybody's got their, oops moments, the stuff you don't talk about. It's already, man, look at this. This is more like it. Look at all this room in here. It's exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. Feel better about this than you did 10 minutes ago?
Oh yeah, that roof, I don't want to say I've held a grudge for 15 years, but it's all behind us now. Onward and upward. I can't say that I've waited my whole life to build the ultimate party barge, limo, cruiser, tailgate machine, or whatever it is, but here we go. Regardless of the direction that this project takes, we're gonna need to start with a clean slate, and that means cleaning everything. The whole concept of this vehicle is fun time party machine, right? So gotta just try to keep that vision, that vibe through the whole project. And starting a project with a fixed set of parameters, a known outcome, is probably a lot easier, but I thrive on the weird stuff. I wanna work on the things where anything's possible and the end result is not known. With the body panels removed, I wanted to media blast everything and bring it all down to bare metal. This dustless blasting system is spraying water all over the bare metal, so it's naturally gonna start to rust again once you finish it. So after you get all the heavy crud off, I go back with a sander and just try to get everything as clean as possible. this, it's not that glamorous. It's purely preparation, but you're kind of romancing it. You're learning what it's all about, what's beneath the skin, so to speak. And I got a million ideas what to do next. In a strange turn of events, Victor has called me back out to his junkyard yet again.
Ian, check it out back here. Isn't that beautiful?
That is. I recognize that nose. What's going on with the rest of this thing?
Well, I had another vision. After we seen the truck and we stripped it, I said something doesn't feel right. So I said, hey, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 Lincoln Zephyrs.
Yeah.
Why don't we put a Zephyr front end on this thing?
Hey, great concept. You don't really seem to have much here, though. I mean, is there anything more?
So I got the fenders, the grille, the hood, next door, and the trailer. So you could cut up anything you want and make it work.
Believe it or not, between me and Victor, I am the voice of reason, so it's up to me to state the facts of reality.
All right, another fine adventure. Let's see what else you got.
I've seen these Zephyr bodies in the yard before, but I haven't seen any of the other parts, you know. This is a great concept, but if he doesn't have the goods, this could be a whole new can of worms.
Oh, yeah. That's a stash of Zephyr parts. It's all here. You got stuff, sir. You got red, white, like a peach color, and green. You got all the parts right here.
Yeah, Ian, look, I even got Jeffrey from Toys R Us.
Is this finally your bucket list? You've got the giraffe, you've got the Zephyr, you got the bubble top. Is there anything else?
Today, no. Tomorrow's another day.
You can't make this up. You know, Victor's process is definitely not in a straight line. You know, there's left turns, there's right turns, sometimes there's U-turns. I just put the blinders on. I have no fear of consequence, etc. If it's a good idea, we're doing it.
It's definitely all here, man. And 6 hubcaps and a spare. It's a perfect starting point.
So there's all the stuff you need. I've done my job. Call me if you have any questions.
I've got
See
questions.
when it's done.
I've got questions.
This is where we get to the good part. You know, Victor throws out this wild card, this crazy concept, and I know exactly how I'm gonna do it. Now that Victor and I have concluded our fantasy discussion on how this thing could flesh out, it's time to get down to the reality of the matter.
So I'm gonna try to just detach these hood and fender mounting points and the grille surround and bring it over there.
The philosophy in this dissection is take the easy way out. Look at all the weakest points and remove just what you need. Victor thrives in the, decision-making process, right? He's just like, I want this, that, and that. I'm a little skeptical because they definitely don't fit together. It's up to me to pull it off.
So if all my calculations are correct, I have liberated the nose of the vehicle. Like butter. Now we're gonna go back to the lab, see how this all fits together.
First mode of operation is to always just stand back and get an impression. You know, do I like it or do I don't like it?
Here's where the plot thickens. If your fender is matching the fender on the truck, you'd see the hood height is pretty radically different, as well as a host of other things.
Mating these two pieces together is going to be a major issue. You know, I'm not disputing my original statement, but just look at this. The effort is going to be well worth it. That's the hard part, you know. The viewing audience may not see what Victor and I see by just sticking that nose on there. They'll be like, what? I'm like, no way, whatever it takes. Look at that. Seeing all the parts lying around separate, it's one thing. The concept's another. Getting things kind of squared off and, visualizing if it's possible, now I'm convinced I'm going all the way.
It's definitely got the look. I could see it. I don't know if anyone else can, but it's just gonna take a bunch of cutting.
Fitting this up, you can see there's definitely way different proportions in the two vehicles, so as usual, I'm taking baby steps. Just fit it up, cut away, keep working it until it feels right.
That's a great looking truck. Look at that.
Nose is starting to look good, you know, small step in the right direction. This Zephyr front end swap is really taking shape, but the key component, you know, to selling it is how the front hood fits.
So just to say, as if the floor was the height of the fender lip right there, right? That's a significant difference.
If I set the Zephyr hood on the truck, there's going to be that huge gap between the two.
And it also doesn't fit the cowl. You know, if you look at these two V's, this V here is a totally different orientation of the front of the windshield than the Zephyr had.
The two key components that I'm working with are the truck hood and the Zephyr hood, and I need to mix them up somehow that comes off convincing. The proportions are way out. It's got to look like it counts.
So you can see it's completely not the look we're going for.
Regardless of which hood is easier to splice in to this concept, the Chevy truck hood is just wrong on the whole front end.
Let me lay that hood on top, take a look. The thing I'm really concerned with is this height, right? I don't want it to look broken. I don't want it to look just, it's gotta flow.
In the whole process, it's important to stay absent-minded. Some folks would stay open-minded. Some folks would just get stuck on things. But just let the void be the void and let the hands do the work. Somehow it happens.
You know, I just had an idea. The edge of that hood is just sheet metal. There's no special bracketry in there. Being that the Zephyr hood is so much longer, maybe I'll just cut this sheet metal to fit this cowl and then build off of it. We don't even have to, I thought I was gonna fuse the two hoods together, but that seems like it's going in the completely wrong direction.
Every project has its own vibe, that's all I could say. If I was a pro, I'd stick to the rules. I just let the truck or the vehicle tell me what to do.
End result, this rear portion needs to be significantly wider. There's a couple ways to go about it. Cut this hood right through the center, which I don't want to do. It's always an easier way around things. So I'm going to get rid of this structure first and lay it on here. Maybe this thing will just open up a little bit. I don't know.
If I could get this hood into shape without any major slices down the middle, everything will be better in the long run.
Stick it on there and see what happens. Ha! Better than it were. There's your trace line.
This is the simplest template ever. That's all it comes down to, you know. Use your part and trace it. No measuring needed.
It's all just a rough layout, but that's the best starting point I can think of. Not too sure.
There may be a more scientific way to do this, but hey, whatever gets the job done.
Let me just look right to here.
And we see that there's a difference of 2 inches.
I'm measuring the nose to the nose. It's a 2-inch offset. It's a piece of 2-inch steel. That there is your contour.
I guess this whole style of metal forming, I use the word style loosely, this technique is purely by necessity. Having nothing, you figure out how to do something.
Like a glove. Another couple trims, we're in the game.
I throw a few tacks on the rear of the hood just to keep everything in place while the rest of the fit up begins.
This is what the whole hood issue has been leading up to. Truck's coming through nice and graceful, hits the hood, and looks broken. The only way through it is to raise the front of the hood. You know, you could do some kind of an arching shape or whatever, but firstly, I need to raise up this thing on some kind of a shim and take another look at it.
Sold.
I love how it looks a little more aggressive and nosy, because, you know, right? It's just my style.
I mean, it's not too often this happens, maybe only once in a fabricator's career, when the builder and the car start to look alike.
The tool you've heard so much about, but if you look just right, the body line flows right through that hood.
This mock-up is definitely presentable at this stage, but I have some ideas that will push it over the edge.
My plan for this, after having trimmed it up and attached the fenders to this, this front nose piece, I think it's gonna go a lot smoother if the entire nose of the vehicle is one piece. It slides forward and tilts, so it's a really fast end to this task. You know, we're putting in a new engine, transmission, airbags, the whole deal, so just to expedite the process, this will be completely out of the way, so it can be into body work while we're doing the mechanical stuff.
The whole thing is Victor had no demands except put that Zephyr on that truck, so it's free reign. I'm doing exactly what I want. You know, this is my wish list with this slide tilt mechanism.
Always remember, if you have the option between the cool sunglasses and the weird ones, always choose the weird ones.
The front of the truck frame is extending beyond the Zephyr nose, so off it goes. Normally, I would, you know, consult with the client, but Victor's direct words was, that's not my problem. So I get to do whatever I want.
Now let's see how these things fit.
I want to get this grille temporarily in place. You know, that's a primary element in the fit up of it. The front end's been smashed. I want to make sure the stock grille's set in there to keep everything oriented properly.
Oh, that's the sound of adjustment. Like when I go to the chiropractor, sounds just like that.
It's of primary importance that these grille pieces fit. If they don't fit up now and we're already down the road, it's going to be a disaster.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Definitely helps the whole front end though. Now that that is established, let's get on with the hinge and the pivot. The push of a button, I want this entire nose to launch into outer space. You know, you shoot for the stars, you might just reach the moon. So I'm planning for this thing to jettison into orbit. If it doesn't, it's just going to slide and tilt. Either way, I win. What I've assembled is this trailer hitch stock, just like in the back of your pick-em-up truck. They got these nice flat plates, one side on the truck, one side on the slide-em-a-bobber.
I've done this concept a few times before and it's always worked out great. The whole challenge here is in the sliding mechanism, it's got to be well reinforced so that they stay parallel, you know, it stands the test of time. There's a huge amount of leverage on this when it's working, so it's got to be strong.
For some reason, I'm always just using stuff that's laying around.
I love the idea of a one-piece nose. I mean, that's probably why people started doing that. Why do they modify anything? So it's like you show up, it's like, wow, one-piece nose. It's a tilt front end. Who doesn't like that? The whole thing I'm doing here is to get this strong enough to present as a concept. Hey, look, it works, right? Later on, there'll be a lot more heavier structure inside. This is just to sell the concept.
I think the hinges are good to go. It should slide and tilt. If it doesn't, you're fired. It's like everything else, you don't know till you try it, right?
This is exactly what I needed to see, you know? I kind of knew the concept of the hinge and slide was going to work, but you know, the actual Zephyr nose is something I've never accomplished, so it looks good to me. It's going to work.
All right, so I'm really happy with the way this whole thing operates. You know, the tilt, the slide, it's all right there. The big issue I'm having is this door. When the fender shuts, it completely blocks the door. There's no way that's gonna open without some major surgery. So while Victor's in crazy mode, I'm gonna pitch him an idea just might seal the deal. Zephyr hood just isn't gonna fit. Now, Victor is a busy man. He's very confident at this point with my ability to fabricate, and that's a good sign. So he says, go for it. I'm going for it. As they say, it's always easier to ask for an apology than forgiveness.
The good thing about Victor being gone is I get to do exactly what I want, and there's a whole other thing I want to try here.
So therein lies the issue. Does that truck look broken to you? Looks broken to me. I know the front of this hood has to come up. It's just way too low. So that's when the decision-making starts. Well, is it that much?
You don't need any fancy lines or renderings or laser levels or anything. Just, does it look good or don't it look good? The whole thing is looking at the bed rail, into the door, and then across to the hood. And looking at this, it is nose down just a touch. So it looks pretty good to me. This truck is, it's just different. You know, this bulge, the pronounced bulge is supposed to be up here, not down here. So as much as it does line up, I'm just concerned that it's gonna be like a muffin top. Each problem requires a unique solution. Fortunately, I have years and years of just winging it under my belt. So if you just whack it with a hammer, you're prone to denting it. So using slow, steady, somewhat soft pressure, the proof's in the pudding.
Nobody talked to the boss. This was a very technical operation. I had the sheet metal brake, the shrinker, the stretcher. I had a shop full of stuff. I utilize it all. All right, that's gonna work. What I discovered is that it actually works better upside down, and on the flip side, instead of adding this big bulge on top of the bulge, I reversed it, so the flatter side is meeting the top. The advantage to these hood sides is that they match the contour of the truck cowl. They're already curved, it's just a slight mod. Simple as it appears, they are stretched in two directions. It's more of a bowl shape than just a roll. Now looking down the lane, totally works. That's the right call. Look at that. So it's just like a little right there instead of going over up top. So the old upside down and flip it around technique. I'll get into my idea for the nose of this. Like I say, I got a thing for the beak. Nobody tell Victor what I'm doing, because it's pretty significant. This whole front portion is smashed. You can see the cast grills don't even match up with the surface. There's a whole bunch of lead in there. It's all old. I think what I want to do is just build a complete new grill surround with all new sheet metal from this point down. Like the bow of a mighty vessel. In technical terms, we're going to perform a bit of rhinoplasty. That totally works. It's hard when there's holes in things. You can't judge the surface area, but that looks like a Zephyr truck, for sure. Like a cab-over truck or a big truck will always have a bigger nose, and it does. I got this Zephyr-nosed truck transformation pretty well underway. I'm feeling good about it.
Yo, already you're this far along?
Said do what I needed to, right?
Wow. It looks better than I pictured it in my mind. I mean, it's a shark coming at me. I mean, you're looking at the front of the Titanic coming towards you, man. I mean, what'd you do? That thing got like another foot on there, like.
I basically, like if it was silly putty or clay, I just took the hood and went up and forward.
A lot of times I see Victor come through that door with concern in his eyes, you know, the list of enhancements rolling.
Wow. I don't see any lines. How we're gonna open the hood? Are you cutting that in now or what?
The one trick thing I did, you know, the hood and fenders are all sealed up. So it's actually a one-piece nose. The whole thing slides forward. And then it tilts up like that.
Wow.
I'm pulling all of Victor's tricks on Victor. He's speechless, and he's out of enhancements.
You know me and all my trick gadgets, the hood's gotta open, the trunk's gotta open. You're getting good, man. You're like figuring out everything that I was gonna do. Now it's done.
Looks like Victor is soaking up all of my ideas. I've just got one more big one to pitch.
So the thing is, with this door and fender issue, the door is just not gonna open, you know? Becomes like one of those old Chevy fleet lines or something.
Yeah.
It's in the way of the door, 100%.
I'd like to seal these doors up completely,
Just like I sealed the hood. You want a boat, right? You ever seen a boat with doors in it?
Not yet.
Yeah. We can't shorten the look of the front fenders. That's the character of the whole thing. Unfortunate result of that is that the doors won't open, and you know, the doors do look a little bit small in proportion to the whole side wall of the vehicle, so why not just delete them?
Then how do I get in this thing?
like a boat. How else? You enter through the center. You walk right at, look. There is no doors, it's a boat. You just step right in, right? You come up, this is your walkway. What's more natural than that? So you get in the boat, right? This is open. You hop in, bring up the anchor, and you go cruising. You're calling it the cruise liner. It's gotta be a boat all the way through.
Make the entry in the back. Hey, can we make this thing float while we're at it?
Anything's possible, man.
We'll go sailing.
I'm getting the captain's hat. We're setting sail.
Look how sleek it looks.
That's pretty interesting. What are we doing?
With Victor fully committed, I got the doors sealed up. Finished the hood and added a custom panel to bring it all together. Then we went straight into a mock-up for the boat windshield. When people see a finished car at a car show, they really have no idea at what type of conversation it's taken to get there.
Nothing says boat windshield like a polished top rail. And it rigidizes it too.
Yeah, look at that.
Totally cool.
The whole plan here is revamping the entire inside of this vehicle. Now, Victor's concept always revolved around this thing being a people mover, so that's the challenge, you know. He wants 6 or 7 people in the back of this thing, and it's gotta look cool, so the stakes are fairly high. First step here is removal. Out with the old to make room for the new. Normally, when you're cutting out a major structure like this, there would be a lot of concerns. You'd have to do a bunch of bracing, but with the doors being welded shut and the nose being in one piece, it's gonna be okay. Trust me.
This thing is cleared out. It's definitely a walk-through design. First step is to set up a big old straight edge and draw a line in space. I mean, on the truck.
Victor's concept from the start with this thing was all about the back of the truck. We came up with some pretty cool concepts for the nose of this thing. It's gotta translate right out the back end. I just try to keep the momentum rolling.
Aha! So that looks good to me. I mean, there's plenty of room in the tire at that height. That's the seat height. And that's the floor height. You don't want to be sitting much lower than that. See what I'm saying?
We're just gonna have to carry small people in the back. I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead to work through any potential problems before they happen.
Let me lay this out on a couple little stands right here, and then we'll see where we're at. Because I don't know if I like what I see. The whole thing is, how high up do we want this seat bottom?
I've worked with Victor for so long, I can just about picture his exact response.
Ian, what's up? Wow, you made a lot of progress. You know, I like it, but I just want to see that corner rounded, and it's a keeper. I told you I was going to say that. I found this piece of round ring laying around, so I put it in the roller just to get the radius I need. So that'll work. That'll take that hard edge off. Bink. That'll go to there, that'll go to there.
Ian, how's it going?
Hey, hey.
Wow. You know what? It looks better than I thought it was gonna look.
It's like deja vu in this room.
But
What?
that's perfect. So we have how much seating area?
About 17, 18, depending on where you
perfect. You got it, you nailed it.
sit. I love standing behind it and looking right through to the firewall. I made that mention earlier. It's like these rails are a trajectory going right into the engine. It's cool. We still have a ton of design work to do on the rear, but before we do that, I want to nail this side profile.
It looks bigger than I thought. I was thinking maybe we should have widened the vehicle another 6 inches, but hey, that's enough room for what we need. 10 adults in this thing, and 1 child.
10 little adults, yeah.
And 1 dog.
I'm not saying anything. The last thing I want to get into is widening or lengthening this body, so yeah, sure, we could fit 10, 20, 30 people, you know. Victor's an optimist. Let it roll.
Check this out. I got some new tires and wheels. It's not exactly what I want, but I got 2 out of 3 elements.
What are you doing, build another supercar? Victor rolls in this set of tires, and these aren't exactly what I was expecting.
I got the width and I got the depth.
Victor's style is fairly predictable. It's always big, fat, white wall tires. Not this time. What is this, 12 inches wide? 315, 35, 20.
That look isn't going with this Zephyr, you know, cruise liner look. The basic concept is there. We do our little modification. I mean, what don't we change? I mean, if
Sure.
we're changing the vehicle, might as well adjust the rims a little.
Of course, we're gonna modify the rims. You know, normally you just buy the exact style you're looking for, but not us. Just the classic look of this, I mean, this style, I mean, this fits the rig perfectly. So, I mean, just imagine, you know, just for conversation, imagine something similar to that.
That's it exactly right there.
The rim modification, just like anything else, we're going to make a few minor enhancements.
It's gonna be like, wow.
You know, he loves the idea of the big diameter rims, and I love the idea of that mega offset. Little rim modification is in order, but we got 2 great things coming out of this set. Just like with the front fenders, they're so wide, we need to match that with the rear. You know, we need to puff these rear fenders way out, and this is gonna fill that up for sure.
Are these both gonna fit on there? They're not gonna like rub in the middle?
I don't know.
Because I don't know if we got enough
I know.
space in here.
Yeah, those tires, I like them, but they're massive. They're never gonna fit in those fenders.
Now we gotta modify that too. Can we just bring something in and just put it on the truck someday?
Some projects simply consists of adding elements onto the design, and this project's in the opposite direction. We have been cutting apart everything just to create this blank slate and then build on top of it. That's a massive hole in the truck. Takes a bit of mental fortitude. Mission accomplished. Whoa. My highest aspiration is to always build like the cartoon car, right? Something that just looks out of this world. This wheel and tire combo nails it.
Who in their right mind would put 2 20s next to each other? I don't know. It looks pretty interesting. I like it.
I gotta see it with that front tire on. Hot rod flavor, big and little tires. You hear it all the time. Victor did the same thing. Front 2 tires are a little bit smaller than the back. Whoa, yes. Look at the freaking lip on that thing.
That thing's pretty mean looking.
Because these fenders are split in half, I want to make sure they stay on the same plane. You know, I don't want the front or the back sticking in a different direction.
Goes up the ramp and then it loops around. It looks fast. The whole back end of this truck is going to be completely redesigned. My main focus right now is on these wheel surrounds and just getting the fenders to look right. The beauty of these manufactured parts is they are stamped one shape. That's where you get these awesome curves. There are machines that could pull this for me, but I don't have that. Not today. These fenders are pretty dimensional, big compound curves. So by using multiple strips like this, it's a fast and efficient way to get the contour I need. Just fit in one piece, get it set up in the orientation I need, and add to it. Just like I did with the front fenders, I'm gonna enhance the living heck out of this whole truck. I mean, he's never seen enhancements like this. Oh yeah. So you can see how that template transferred right to the steel, and it's all just tacked in. It's gonna be a lot of welding, but just look at that result. The rear fenders will ultimately have some kind of a skirt to really finish it off, but right now I have something else on my mind. It's just a complete revisioning of the rear end. I don't like the way it's put together. I don't like the welding. I don't like the look of these brick and mortar seams. Just like the original roof on this truck, I want the whole back of this thing gone. It's gonna be way easier to fabricate from new than try to repair this mess. Look at that. There lies the next challenge. Just like everything, made a paper template, made a steel piece, and this is gonna fill that whole wall in one shot. I was thinking, how am I gonna make this skirt in one piece so that it doesn't deform? And I remember we have all this extra plastic. Dig on this. You know, every time you put up a paper or any other material to make a template, you're always wondering what's going on the other side. Now we know. I can see what the fender line actually is and then come in with a number of different ideas that are see-through. I tell you, the best job I ever had. Getting the last part of these fenders mocked up, I got everything in place. I love the way we curved the front of that one.
I mean, look at the way that flows. Zephyr.
Yeah.
Zephyr. That came out nice.
The one thing we have to discuss is what the wheel opening is going to look like. You know, that's what these big slabs are for. I was just setting up a big generic shape so I don't warp it. We'll just trace this out, and then I'll come underneath with a heavy steel rod and reinforce it.
Can we take that cardboard out so we can literally see the tires so we know where we're going to?
If you want to see the tires, I'm going to show you the greatest template idea in the history
cool.
of carbon. So all of a sudden you have a see-through car.
All right, cool.
You can see the tires and you know where you're going.
That's an expensive template. That's about 80 bucks worth of Lexan there.
I know. The thing about the see-through template is that typically if you see me, I'm feeling out contours and just kind of sketching ideas. Right here, it's visual. You're looking right at your part.
I want to mimic that same kick in all the way down to here, so it's round.
Now we weld the steel in, and we screw this right on top of it. We have a good starting point for the skirts. We just have to attach the sheet metal to the truck and mark it with the template. All right, so this is the point where I say, any last wishes? It's easy to get carried away on this fender skirt concept, so we're throwing a bunch of tape lines to ensure we get the right line. You just don't want to cut too much. You know, this solid rod gets tacked right below it, so when it comes in here to the curve, it'll flow it right through.
From back here, look at that thing. Now there's depth in the fender.
Wow, that's cool. This fender skirt in place, I'll duplicate it on the other side. I'll finish it off with a piece of rod, and then these things are just about ready for body work. And my job is done here.
Yeah, no, it looks good. That really came out nice. The only thing left to figure out is the back, and you could do that. You have point A, point B. You get that, round it off. That one's an easy one.
The front and side of this cruise liner concept, I think we nailed it. The real thing to sell the whole concept is going to be the entryway, the back end. It's got to count. Look at this. The whole tube chassis is full of water. As soon as I welded it, it popped open, boiling in there. This may not be a good sign. She's already springing a leak, and we haven't even set sail on the maiden voyage. It is an ocean-going vessel after all. It's all that salt water rusting out the chassis. It comes with the territory. You're building a boat, there's gonna be some water, you know? We may be installing a bilge pump sometime in the near future. That's the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Ian, check this out. I was at Pomona this Sunday, got a couple things to enhance the back. Hopefully they'll fit.
That seems like way too easy on your taillight decision. That's a first. It's pretty good that Victor's got his taillight game on. Thing is, we don't know what the heck the back of this vehicle is gonna look like, so maybe it's a little premature coming in with the finishing touches when we haven't even started.
By the way, Ian, that looks cool, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm so in it, I forgot. Yeah, we did all the body work on the fenders and everything. The other side's still in steel, but while I was working on the other fender, they came in.
That's clean.
I'm glad to get rid of this because the initial concept for the old rig was never truly established. There was a lot of weird fabrications, all kind of dented and rusty. It's nice to just get it fresh and ready for reconstruction.
That's definitely a clean slate right there. Without that back on there, it's like, wow, what do we do?
This is when the chickens come home to roost. You know, I've been hearing about this, the whole project, and now we know the real story. It's not gonna be that easy.
We're gonna have a little bit of work ahead of us. There's too many lines that are gonna be difficult to make them flow and look good.
This is par for the course. Everything is easy on paper, right? And every time it comes right back and bites you in the ankle.
It's not gonna happen just us looking at it confused.
I'm already thinking ahead. Check this out. That's the largest piece of template board in the house. There's only one way I know how to work through problems, and that's start building. If we just let the metal naturally curve, look at that, right? So it's curling under, it's meeting the fender, right? So the fender will be unchanged. Yeah, and then from that, with this being open, I can build all the structure for the step, the fuel tank holder, and whatever else.
If you do that, it's almost like a boat tail kind of looking thing.
Just keep feeding it in. What's not to like about that? Just laying out this cardboard template, I could tell it's gonna work out just fine. I just take the steel, I put it in the brake, see, and I put a curve on it. So you have this very mellow V, like the back of a canoe or like the front of the hood almost.
Exactly.
Let me just get this kind of mocked up as a nice sheet metal surround. Your task, I know you struggle with certain things, and we're gonna need taillights. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good. I got some ideas, and nothing's gonna really sell it like putting some work in. I can form it, I can bend it, I can do a whole bunch of stuff. I just wanna see what it does and how to streamline the process. See how it's buckling right here, but not buckling there? That's the idea. It's pretty basic, and it will get styled out a bit with some taillights. For now, you know, a step and access point. Just by pushing these in a little bit, that brings it to the same contour as this radius, but now this is rolling a little bit too. And I'm gonna border it with some 1/2-inch solid round rod. That'll give it a lot of structure. Once I got the majority of the sheet metal in place, there was just a few areas to splice in, and then we got right to the bodywork. And all my theorizing, philosophizing, contemplating, and consideration, I've decided that this fit-up looks best with the fenders.
You know, the only issue that I always had was I don't want people falling out of this thing. One rev of the engine and I have all my cool people on the ground. That ain't cool.
Yeah, it's like the guy who puts all this stuff in the back of his truck and pulls out of the parking lot, right? We have two critical issues with the rear of this truck. Problem one is people getting in the vehicle, and the inevitable problem number two is people falling out of the back when you get on the gas.
So what's the solution?
That is a major issue. It's like point A, style, point B, safety.
Practicality.
Practicality. So I got one practical solution, and that's with this floorboard. I was thinking this would just come in to this level and just set right down. So it's kind of like the gangway on a ship, right? You're walking up this level. This is where the story gets even better. That license plate, it's a little bit of magic. We're gonna put an actuator underneath here with a push button. So when you push the button, your step comes out.
The license plate is a step. That's brilliant. I don't want to, you know, get your head any bigger than it is, but that's cool.
That's what I thrive on, you know? Somebody's expecting something, it's like, but wait, there's more.
How about after a couple beers, how am I going to keep them from falling off to the side?
With the chromes, Holmes, we're gonna put some chrome on the back of this thing. Polished aluminum handrails, just like on a boat. Not that they'll be this shape, but you know, here's a perfect representation, right? I'm this wide, so you have something that comes off the base, turns to roughly this angle, so when you're getting in, it's this high. Handrails, right? It's gonna help you get on board, and then it's gonna be two features, Victor. It does two things. So not only when you get in, you have something to grab right here, right? But you come in here, and then when the people are sitting, that same structure comes up and turns the corner. So it's wide open, but now there's something holding people in. You get in, and it keeps you there. It looks nice and airy, open, but it's also got the ability to keep people on board.
Pretty cool.
And also when they're sitting, you grab right here, you're up, and then you're out.
All right, let's go for a worst case scenario. We adjust it later. I mean, I've adjusted a couple things in my day.
Never gonna do anything sane or typical. This is right up my alley. Here we are, another crazy concept. Handrails on the back of a boat truck thing. Here we go. The first step is to narrow the radius of this ring until it matches that of the bench seats. This is like steering the ship, man. You should be on this. Left turn. All right. That's it, man.
You make it look easier than what it is.
Well, why do you think I'm always sweating like a pig? You know, it's taken a bit, but now that I have Victor working, I can slowly transfer into that managerial position I've been aiming for. Left turn, Captain. All right, you're halfway there. Thing is, if we had a plan, we'd probably be done already. That's the whole issue here is we start with something, see what it looks like, consider what's possible, what looks right, and move forward. You know, our process is pretty unique, very unorthodox, but we get results. All right, so this is what all that twisting has led up to. A vertical post somewhere around here. This matches the radius of your seat perfectly. So that comes up on a vertical leg. Then this joins up to that, like so. So you got this cool swoopy thing, matches the seat contours, and is a usable people holder inner. Once we got the second one in, that's what it's all about. You know, this seals the deal.
Now it looks like a boat. What's your problem?
Victor's happy with it. I'm really happy with it because you're really seeing off the interior. You know, these pillars that hold it up will be completely hidden with the fabric, so it'll just look like a perfect aluminum shape coming through the floorboards and disappearing into the seat ends. And then when you get here, oh man, that is right on the spot. It's like a chiropractic chair. Love it. If you know me, you know that I am off the grid. Don't answer the phone, got no mailing address to the public.
Now I'm getting your mail to my doorstep from Australia.
Somehow they still track me down. I don't know how they tracked you down. Nobody can track me down, man. Whoa, look at that.
Hey, and you look good in that, man. You should be in movies.
It's gonna be a tough break from my old straw hat, man. This is classy, though.
Talking about your new look, I got a new look for the truck.
Hey, now that you're in such a good mood, I've got one more change. Again? Yes, that's the case.
After looking at it and seeing it come together, the window we originally chose that looks like a boat, I'm not feeling it that much anymore.
He comes barging through the door with the old windshield that was on the truck.
Remember this? Check this out. But that's not the look I see. You cut this, weld this in, and I see it just like that.
My first reaction is, Victor, you're chickening out. We're on a boat, damn it. You know, the thing is, that makes it more look like a vehicle. This boat windshield, it just kind of didn't feel right. It looked awesome, but the way the rest of the vehicle is fleshing out with the fenders, etc., it fits with the era of the vehicle, you know? Okay, fine, we got the whole boat theme going on, but all in all, it is this giant bubble-fendered vehicle. Yeah, I thought this was gonna be a lot harder sell, but you're right. I feel like this Zephyr cruise liner has made a turn in a great direction. You know, there's a lot more to do, but I think I'm going champagne shopping. This boat is almost ready for the christening. We have finally arrived. West Coast Customs Cruising Nationals. It's on. You could go way overboard with a decision like this and end up with some weird thing with an anchor hanging off it and who knows what. All the choices with this were really ambitious, but it made a couple key decisions that, you know, swung it in our favor. To really add to the boat theme, he pinstriped it to look sort of like a hardwood old school boat. And he went with the proper flooring and makes it look like a deck. Really just nail this concept. He went and blacked out all the chrome. Really makes the rims stand out even more. The idea with the rims, dynamite. I see people going over there touching them. They see the little moon logo and then it makes sense.
I kind of do things as a joke. I said, I'm gonna put a Zephyr on a Chevy pickup, just kind of threw it, just a thought came into my mind. And for you to achieve it and put it into proportion, this vehicle looks like it came out of the factory like that. I've already seen a lot of older people saying, oh yeah, Zephyr cruise liner, I remember that.
He always has to build something really good to blow everyone's mind. You know, I think that's his whole deal. I mean, look at these guys, they can't get enough of it.
Congratulations on your new baby.
But I retired, I think, this time for at least 3 months.
Give it 48 hours.
yeah.
We'll see how you feel in the morning. Friday night, it's cruise night. The vehicles are driving. All of a sudden, Gene Winfield is like the barker, right? He's like, step right up, ladies. The cruise liner is about to leave port.
Excuse me, excuse me.
Hello, Victor.
Watch your toes.
Victor is all smiles. He's all for it.
All right, Ian, get in.
There's too many people in here. I don't agree with this. Call the Coast Guard. Excuse me, pardon me, coming through. This is exactly what Victor wanted, a party on wheels. Max capacity, and we're about to set sail. People are yelling. Victor, nice ride.
Remember when I first showed you this project, Ian? And said, see that front end of that Zephyr? I want it on that tiki truck, which my brother owned.
That's the whole thing, dude. Every time I'm sitting in here, I'm thinking about Manny and his passion for this vehicle. And here we are, dude. It's happening. Victor is all smiles. It's a tribute to his brother. It was their project, their collaboration for a long time. Here it is revamped. All it took was 2 extra tires. All these vehicles out here, they have 4 tires.
Yeah.
You got them up by 2, baby.
I got them all.